What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from the Zero Gravity Craft Brewery, and they're out of Burlington, Vermont, and this is their Oktoberfest, the 2022 release. So this is a Märzen-style Oktoberfest that comes in at 5.4% alcohol by volume, no IBUs listed in time of review. This can is just over 6 weeks old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out to a couple very good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Shaun and Mike over at Nerdsense, for hooking me up with this one, so big thanks to them for this beer. In the description box, I'll post a link to their channel. And I say this all the time when I shout out my beer tubing friends or maybe somebody who has sent me a beer, but I really mean it when I do these shout outs, because I feel like so many of my friends do great jobs with their channels and they deserve more love. And I think the Nerdsense guys fit that bill. They've been doing this for a very long time, and I think currently they have just under 700 subs. And to me, they should be well over 1,000. So if you could do me a favor and go over there and show them some love, maybe sub to the channel, watch some of their content, tell them the Joe from the PaTroll sent you. I'd really appreciate it, because I love those guys. They're great guys. They drink some amazing beer, and they have a really good dynamic between the two, and they're funny. So I can't thank them enough for this beer, especially Shaun. I think Shaun picked this one up. So we hung out at the 2022 Beer Tuber Palooza about a week ago, right now as I'm recording this, a little less than that. And Shaun brought this. Now, I can get Zero Gravity stuff in my neck of the woods, but before Beer Tuber Palooza, Shaun said to me, hey, have you guys had this before? Because I was in my local bottle shop, and I think he either said the owner or the employee, one of the employees of the bottle shop, said that this was amazing and he needed to try it. He's like, did you guys hear anything about it? Funny story is I've heard from 3 separate people before that Zero Gravity's Oktoberfest this year was absolutely phenomenal, one of the best this year. So the fact that we heard the same thing and we're, 6-7 hours away from one another, crazy. So he brought some extra cans and he gave me one to review, and I'm going to review it. So I wouldn't say this is hype, because not many domestic Oktoberfest beers get all that hyped, but I'm hyped for it because I've heard numerous good things about this one, and I've been drinking a lot of Oktoberfest this year, and I want to see how this one kind of stands up to some of the other ones I've been drinking, because my favorite so far this year was Munsterfest from Three Floyds. I think that's the winner this year as far as my favorite Oktoberfest. Constantine from Schilling right behind it, but I'm looking forward to this one. So thanks to Shaun for it. Anyway, yeah, that has that Märzen kind of deep orange, amber-esque kind of color, good carbonation, 2-finger, we'll say soap sudsy looking head. That has more of a very light tan or khaki color, as opposed to white. On camera it's probably look more white, but it's definitely more of a light tan or khaki color. Yeah, looks nice. The clarity is not as much, a lot of these beers are, the clarity's through the roof because it's lager, right? It doesn't have, is there fine particulates? Maybe it's just chill haze, although this is not substantially cold or anything. But yeah, it's not as clear as I would have thought it been. Anyway, let's get a nose. Yeah, it's nice. Oh, as it opens up, real rich malt character. Yeah, there's biscuit, there's a nice bready component, there's honey, caramel, slight toffee. Ooh. It has that honey biscuit thing that I've been getting quite a bit this year with these. And I really like that note. It's like someone has a fresh baked biscuit and you just drizzle a little bit of honey on top. That's kind of the nose here. There's a nice earthy, spicy kind of hop component. I've been getting this a little bit too, maybe a jammy apricot. Sometimes I get dried apricot or apricot jam and get more jammy here, but it's not big. It's not substantial. You're not going to drink this and be like, oh, that's a biscuit with apricot jam on it. Not that, but you get a little bit of fruitiness, and to me, it's kind of apricot jam. Yeah, it smells really good. Now, I'm going to be honest with you and say that, this doesn't smell as good as a couple others I've had. Yeah, because that's when I'm honest with my reviews, and the nose on this is not amazing or anything. Is it good? Yeah, it smells like a really well-made Märzen-style Oktoberfest. I hope the taste is a little bit better, because if so, then we're talking about one of the best I had this year. Anyway, appreciate Shaun hooking me up with this one, and prost, everybody. All right, this is really, this reminds me of? Reminds me of Trogs this year. Trogs didn't have that big burst of just flavor that I think Munsterfest and Constantine had. It has this just really nice drinkability. It has a good maltiness to it. It's very well balanced, super drinkable, but I will say not My favorite this year. Bodiness, medium bodied. Maybe a touch over, nice body. It's crisp, it's clean, it's very smooth on the finish. So, I mean, body and mouthfeel are great. It's hard with these where what I prefer, because I think the flavors here are really nice. But do I prefer something like Munsterfest or Constantine, where I think there's more of an oomph to the flavor? Would that weigh me down if I was to drink, 2, 3, 4, 6-pack in a sitting, right? Over a course of a 2-3 hour period, and you start feeling warm and you're feeling good and whatnot. Would I want something more like this or something like Munsterfest? I think personally, I prefer the Munsterfest. I want a little bit more flavor from Oktoberfest, and that's a personal preference, right? I think if I was at the authentic and official Oktoberfest celebration in Munich, Germany, I would draw to drink Fest beers because they're easier to drink. But if I'm going for a Märzen, I want more flavor. And I'm probably not going to session a shit ton of them. And I probably, if I could, right now, I don't know, anybody who watches this, I've had some health issues over the last couple of years. And I can't, because I'm on blood thinners, drink a bunch of beer. You know what I mean? Like I can't just sit down and drink a 6-pack. I just can't do it anymore. But if I could, this would be a nice beer to drink a 6-pack of. But I think even if I could, I'd rather have 2 or 3 Munsterfests and then move on to something maybe else. That said, flavors on this one, I mean, it's a Märzen, very similar to a lot of them out there. That biscuity, honey thing, little bit of bready character, touch of caramel. That apricot jam hits right after the sweeter malt flavors. And then halfway through, 2/3 of the way through the palate, I'm hit with an earthy, spicy, slightly floral kind of hop character. Balances out. This finishes semi-dry with a mild to moderate bitterness, maybe a more approaching moderate. Very well balanced, super easy to drink. I mean, yeah, I can get down with this beer without question. The question that I have for myself, though, when I compare it to everything else I've had this year, is this substantially better where, I've heard, 4 or 5 people say, man, this is just amazing in comparison. No, I don't think Shaun had that same opinion. I think Shaun was like, yeah, this is really good. Shaun, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but he didn't be like, oh, this is substantially better than everything else. He heard the same thing I did. He drank. He's like, this is really good. Would you guys want to try it? But he didn't sit here and like, you have to try it. It's the best ever. He just brought some for us to try. And, Shaun, again, post in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about it in comparison to others you've had this year or in the past. I don't think you said this was your favorite. It's not my favorite, but it's damn good. And I appreciate you giving me a candid review. 5.4%. You can't taste it. Yeah, this is really nice. So I can't go substantially high on this. I'm going to give this right around the rating I gave Trog. So Oktoberfest 22 from Zero Gravity. I'm going to give this a straight 4 out of 5. That's what I gave the Trogs, I'm pretty sure. That's what I'll give this one. Very similar in that regard. It's a good Märzen-style Oktoberfest from an American brewery. Nothing more and nothing less. They also say on the front that this is a classic Bavarian style Märzen lager brewed with all German ingredients, which I think is pretty cool as well. Price and availability. I don't know where Zero Gravity gets distro, but considering they're in Burlington, Vermont, we see them here in the West New York area. I've seen their Conehead. I've had that one before. This is the first one I'm reviewing from Zero Gravity, but I've had Conehead. Maybe I need to review that at some point. Is it Little Wolf? Is it Pale Ale? And a couple others have shown up that I've had but not reviewed. So they probably get decent distro throughout the Northeast, I would say. And then at price point, I would imagine this is like $10.99, $11.99 a 6-pack, which is fine. $2 or less for a can. Sign me up. What did you pay for it, Shaun? I don't remember if Shaun got a 12-pack or a 6-pack. So Shaun, just put, like 3 paragraphs in the comment section. Just tell me everything about your experience about this beer, and then we'll just leave it at that, because clearly I don't know what I'm talking about, but you already knew that. So huge thanks to Shaun once again for this beer. Like I said, go check out the Nerdsense boys. Link in the description box. Go give them some love. They drink amazing beers. Better than this, and I love them. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. I have a couple more Oktoberfest in my possession from the aforementioned Beer Tuber Palooza that people have given me, and also one that I picked up, which is an oak-aged fest beer from Threes Brewing out of New York. Never seen an oak-aged fest beer, seen an oak-aged Märzen before, but not a fest beer, so that should be fun. Anyway, to the next one. Prost.